A lot of these guys were young, you know, that 30, 40-year-old generation, we lost them. I mean, some of them was able to get some jobs, some of them left, you know, I mean.
You think there was Feinberg starved them out?
Oh, absolutely. That's been the whole process. This was nothing we didn't know. I mean, those that were involved in this and trying to talk to Feinberg and BP from the very beginning, we knew what they were going to do, and we knew they had all of these other people that were sitting up here being greedy. They were going to scam the process, you know, and that's who they ran to, the political regimes and those who were politically hooked, and that's where they went, and they got screwed. And now you want the small people who suffered the damages to pay for it, you know? These fishermen here are in trouble, man. This community is in trouble. There's no money circulating in this community. It's just, you know, I still got guys I got to try and help them, or they take care of my boats, you know? They unhooked, this boat was hooked this morning under the wharf. You see that board it pulled up? You know, they had to come down here and do that, you know? I got to pay them. I mean, I can't expect them to keep doing that, which I don't have to pay them, but it's the more than right, you know? You try to help people, you know? We put together a plan to try and stop BP from getting involved in this massive mess that was going to pay people that didn't deserve to be paid, or overcompensate some and undercompensate the people that really suffered the damages. And you got the political regimes trying to make this believe like it's a big bubble. It is big, it's serious, but the people that got damaged, that's where you should have been focused at. This is ground zero, and yet these are, you know, we even try to give them, look, do it by zip code, see where your money going. Oh, no, we don't want to hear that, because you know these fishermen were being undercompensated. But my little brother, he took sick. The first 2 weeks he worked, he couldn't take it no more. I had to go get him off the boat and bring the other captain out. He was sick, he just couldn't take it no more, his sinus. And then I started suffering with sinus, you know. I mean, and man, look, we've never recovered health-wise from that, you know. I've never suffered with sinus in my life the way I suffer with it now, you know. I'm always congested, you know. So you know, our health have changed, and of course our way of life have changed. No two people are going to speak the same way. No two people situation is going to be the same, you know, but they're looking for this straight line, you know. It's no straight line. You know, this stuff was aromatics. It went there. Even these people in this community were breeding that shit, you know. And they come up with this thing. Well, if you meet this strenuous requirement, you're going to get this much. And if you don't meet it, then you get this little crumbs here, you know. Regardless of what kind of hardships you suffered because of it, you know. My little brother, he wound up on sleeping pills and everything else. Our house was like a nightmare. I mean, you walk the floors all night, you know, and God knows they don't want to talk about the mental health, you know, which is one of the biggest factor that's affecting these communities, even the children. You know, these children was in school. Daddy, wear my tennis shoes. Daddy, wear my money to go on a field trip. Daddy don't have it. Do you know what that does to a man when he can't take care of his family because somebody else put him out of work?
So the difference between recovering from a hurricane, and now hurricanes bringing more oil up.
Well, the thing is, a hurricane, we know what we're dealing with, okay? We're dealing with a natural disaster. The day after the hurricane, you start recovering, you know, and that's what we did. I mean, it's the bureaucracy that came in Katrina, you know, that caused us a lot of hardships, but we were able to overcome it because we were still doing what we needed to do to get ourselves back on track. The minute they opened this place up to come in, I moved this boat, brought it on the shipyard, gutted it out, cleaned it up, and here come FEMA. I'm gonna give you a formaldehyde FEMA trailer that makes you sick that you can't. You know where we all wind up? As soon as we get our boats ready, we were sleeping on our boats. But you wouldn't give us no money. But this boat here cost me close to $200,000 to redo it on. So, man, we got some problems, man. BP have put a damper on a lot of things. If built basically stopped, they immediately what stopped was the recovery from Katrina. And then we started backsliding. You look at this equipment, it's rusting away. So now even if I go back to work tomorrow, all of this stuff got to be bought new. It's rust. Arrow pound. It's rusting away.
I think the oystermen did better than lots of other fisheries.
No, that's not true, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why. When you're talking about the oysterman, an oysterman is the guy running these boats, on these boats. These guys got screwed. They didn't get no money. Now, if you're talking about the person that have oyster leases, and they're sitting up there home, don't own the boat, don't own nothing, and they got paid for their oyster leases, yeah, they did damn good. But not the guy that was out there catching these oysters. He got literally paid nothing. And a lot of them got forced into taking that $5,000, $25,000.
This whole
process was set up.
Your whole community that makes a living off of oystering, now they don't have work right now.
That's right. So now if I got 10,000 acres of oyster beds, yeah, I came out all right, you know? But the poor fishermen themselves got screwed. They got screwed. That's where the problem's at. And I'm saying this because you got legitimate oyster farmers that invest a hell of a lot of money into those oyster beds. But then you got some lost nothing and got paid. And the poor deckhand on the boat got nothing. And he out of work now. And we haven't started to recover. That's what the problem is. We haven't started to recover. You know?
What does that look like to you? What does this restoration look like?
Well, coastal restoration is going to, of course, no one paid a heavier price for coastal restoration in this community. Remember, Carnarvon was open on the East Bank. I lost over 1,000 acres. My family lost 2,000 or 3,000 acres of oyster beds. Then when I lost myself about 800 acres. Then when you look at what happened with state policy, the West Bank, they got paid for this. They got paid and they swamped them out. On the East Bank, we got nothing. We got a ruling from the Supreme Court that basically said for the good of the state, we're not going to compensate you or help you.
So what do you see for the next generation?
Man, it's tough. None of us here are trying to teach our children anymore this art of fishing. We're scared. We're scared. And it's also hurting because, you know, most of us, we got people that are lawyers, judges, doctors, put themselves through college on these waters, fishing. Our councilman right now, Mr. John Bartholomew, this is his third term as councilman. And he's my family, so I grew up underneath him. I saw him through high school, working, trawling, fishing, saving his money, putting himself through college, helping his mother put him through college. This is what's the normal here. That's the way the kids do it. We don't have these summer programs where these kids could go work. They got the little aluminum boats and they got out there in the summertime and they coon oysters. That was their summer work. That was their job. That's not there. They all can't go work for the parish with 3 jobs. How you going to? But the kids did it. They came down here. They unloaded oysters in the evening. They made their money. So now we can't even teach our children how to work, how to be responsible citizens. You know.
As an elder in the community, how does that make you feel?
Boy, that's hard, man. That's hard. That's a hard thing. I got to argue with these kids walking the road now, afraid that they get sucked into the crime world, and I don't have a damn thing, not a leg to stand on. What I'm gonna argue with them about? Well, where we gonna go to work at? Where we gonna get this? Hey, I don't have an answer. And a lot of the local guys we got, well, you figure, that's 5 boats, that's 3 per people to boat, that's 15 families that eat off of those boats. So I'll just give you an example. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know how many people, families that is, that just get supported in this community off this little row of boats? Huh? You're talking about 30, 40 families here. And where they at? They're sitting here parked.